Got it. Okay, we are recording. My name is Jocelyn Minders, and I actually have been a varsity cross-country coach for, this is my 14th season, which is kind of hard to believe. I've also coached track at middle school and high school levels. I'm kind of off and on for the last 14, 15 years, depending on what was going on with my kiddos and different things like that. So, yeah, I have a lot of experience with using these. I've kind of jumped in, and it's one of the things that I'm really passionate about. And so Young Living for the Active Lifestyle seemed like a really good fit when Britta asked me to teach the class in this hub huddle tonight. So I'm going to go through some of our favorites. I mean, we all know that if you use Young Living products, Young Living is a essential oils company. That's how they started. But I think a lot of people don't realize how many other products they have beyond the essential oils. And they have a lot of other products that work great to support someone who's active and exercising and into fitness, or just someone who wants to walk or garden or just lead an active lifestyle, which hopefully we all can do, as much as we can. So I did keep my sporty clothes on for today. I figure I'm doing the active lifestyle. I can look like I fit the part too. I had cross-country practice this afternoon. We have state on Saturday, so we're kind of on the tail end of the season. So I thought that I would share with you some of the things that I actually do with my team, and then also some of the things that I do on my own and with my family, and that I recommend to people who are into that kind of lifestyle, because probably not going to outfit my entire team with some of these things that would get a little outside my budget. But yeah, because I just wanted to put this out there too, because I'm using essential oils on other people's kids, and it's not necessarily all people who use essential oils at their home. I actually did mention it at the parent meeting. I published it in the parent letter that they got. It's on the website. I also posted it in different handouts that I've given to them. And then mid-season, I actually sent an update home on each of the kids on the team. And in there, I also listed the essential oils that their kids were choosing to use if they were using them. Some of the kids jump on board and love it. Some of them think they're kind of weird and use them anyway. And some of them really don't want to. And I just leave it up to them completely and whether or not they want to use them. So just wanted to put that out there as well. Something that I love that has really helped the way that I coach too is sometimes when someone does something and they did something to their ankle or their shins or something like that, I actually have an option that I can give them versus saying, sorry guys, put some ice on it and let it rest. I can actually send something home with them, or we just use things in practice really consistently to help them have healthy joints and healthy muscles and healthy whatever they need throughout the season. So it's been really liberating for me that I can actually do that for them too. So I also do dilute the oils that I use on my team always, because many of them are not used to using oils all the time. And just to be careful, I don't know about their skin, and I have a carrier with me all the time as well. So just wanted to put that out there that I do that just for safety. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this kit that I actually have for my team. The ones that we most commonly use. I just have my Seed to Seal purple case here. My kids are used to having purple. Like, you have a woman coach, you get purple stuff sometimes. Plus, the Young Living likes purple, and I do too. So I just have this case. It slides right in my backpack. It's fantastic. This was from convention, I believe, one year, and I really like it. So it works out really well. I just open it up, and when I'm at the meets and we're on the start line or practice, whatever, I'll just open it up. And I usually have my 9-year-old, he likes to come to the meets. He holds it for me like this, and I take out the ones I need, and they pass them around, and yep, they go to town on them. So I'm just going to go through that a little bit. All right, so something that I try to remember to do every day is I have this itty bitty little roller here. See if I can show it to the camera. It's backwards, I know, I think. I'm not sure, maybe it's not backwards on Zoom. But anyway, I have a thieves roller. So I just diluted this 4 parts carrier to 1 part thieves. And I just say, okay, guys, give me your wrist. This is just for immune system support so that we can keep you healthy throughout the course of the season. And honestly, didn't do it right away. Didn't really think about that aspect of it for them. And as soon as school started, their stress level went up, their sleep went down, and their intensity level of everything went up. And a lot of them, right away, that first or second week of practice, actually got colds and different things like that. So I'm like, you know what, guys, we need to support your immune systems. So I started pulling out the thieves. didn't have a problem the rest of the season, which is actually kind of crazy because they really aren't germ conscious and they share water bottles all the time. So I was really happy about that, and so were they. So that's one thing that I do. Then I have my RC bottles, very well loved, and I actually label it all for them too. I just put respiratory right on there so they can see and they don't have to wonder, because they don't know what RC stands for. It's respiratory care. And they will a lot of times just put this on their chest, either before they run or mid-run. So it just really helps support those airways and open the airways. I had one of my runners, we were doing a really, really intense hill workout. And halfway through, I'm like, hey, you want to put some RC on? And he did. And he went, oh, Coach, that was amazing. I would never want to go without that again. So it just really does a good job of helping support your airways and your respiratory system. All right. Then I've got, this is my little carrier oil. So I have a little thing of coconut oil here. So if they need it, you know, if it's a little too strong or whatever, they can dilute. Just doing that just to be ready. All right. Then I've got Digest. I mean, realistically, you just never know. And if you need some support for your digestive system, it's hard to compete and it's hard to be active. And so I have my Digest, and you would be surprised at how many times it actually got used throughout the season. Sometimes it's nerves, but sometimes there was other things going on that this just really did a good job. And they were outside all the time, so they didn't care what it smelled like. And to be honest, sweaty teenager, what's a little Digest in there? So there's that one. Then I've got my muscle roller, my muscle blend. This got used, oh goodness, I think there was one kid who practically bathed in it. It was crazy. But to be honest, what I did for this one is I took out my reference guide. If you don't have a reference guide, highly recommend. I looked in my 2 reference guides. I have the one from Abundant Health and I have the one from Life Science Publishers. And I looked at muscles, and then I looked at what I had in my case, and I'm like, could use up that bottle, could use up that bottle. Those are good for muscles. And I kind of made a little blend. So this one right here is Aroma Seas, Marjoram, Relieve It, and Wintergreen. And I threw a little bit of Copa Eva and Panaway in there. But to be honest, I'm also being economical because I'm using this on about 15 teenagers. So I just found really good ones that support muscles. And these kids were rolling it on their shins. They were rolling it on their calves, mostly legs, but it kind of depends on the kid and what they needed. And they would put it a lot of different places. And again, I just labeled this one muscle blend. They could see this is the one for muscle. And they knew the one with the little orange label was for muscles. And the white one was for digestive support. And yeah. I also, for muscles, we also did lemongrass. And this one I had diluted, of course, they all are. But lemongrass is another one that we would roll on muscles. And we would often layer. We would do lemongrass first, followed by followed by the muscle after that. And we do layers, especially for shins. We did that quite a bit for some kids. And the last week, we just kind of we were doing some different things, prepping for state qualifying, and we got a little bit out of the habit of using some of these. And we could tell the difference. I'm like, oh, guys, we're forgetting to use the oils. And they're like, yeah, we were noticing that. So it's interesting how the teenagers also were noticing that, their muscles were feeling the end of the season and feeling that they weren't really being as consistent with those. So another one that we have here is peppermint. And this one, they would actually take it and they would put it they would go like that, put it on their thumb or their finger, put it on the roof of their mouth, and it would just really help open up their sinuses. Well, when you're running, it's good to breathe through your nose. So it just really helped open everything up so that they could actually breathe a little bit better. And it was a really warm fall. And so a lot of them actually, it was warm. A lot of our meets were really hot. So I would actually they would turn around. I'm like, back your neck if you want peppermint. They would turn around. If the girls, hold up their ponytail, and I just swipe on the back of their neck. And that they really loved doing that too. That was really nice for them. Just to help them just keep their body temperature just a little bit lower. And it just helped cool them off a little bit before they started to run, even so they weren't overheated before they got going. I also actually have a peppermint cooling spray. I just have this big bottle. And I put a bunch in there, and it is pretty diluted, but we could do back of their neck during practices. I would just sometimes as I ran past, get the back of their neck. Sometimes faces, but not when you're running so much. So we went through quite a bit of this as well. So it's just really handy to have. All right. So then some of their other ones that they liked pre-race, those are just all really to support your body and to support your systems, not so much for emotions. Now, the high schoolers were a little bit like, I don't know, but they loved some of these emotional ones as well. One of their favorites is Stress Away. It smells really good also. Sorry if that's not very clear. The bottle's been well loved. But before they would race, especially, we would just hold out their wrists. Like if you want stress away, hold out your wrists. And I would just put it on their wrist. And I had one girl who sometimes would get anxious, you know, she would have a little anxiety. And so she would put it on her hands and I would just have her cup it over her mouth and just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. And so we did that a lot. Another one that they really liked to have is Believe. And I have this in a little roller here. I don't have my big bottle here. I do put it down here, I think. Yep. Believe. And Michelle DeHaan actually has a really cool story about her son is an 8th grader. He's on the middle school team. And she had him do a visualization, and he put the Believe across his forehead, I believe. And he predicted his time. He was visualizing what his goal time was, and he wanted it to be. He got it to the second. That was a little crazy. But yes, that was just kind of neat. So they really liked this one as well. Believe was a big one. I almost missed Lavender. I had Lavender in there as well. This one was more of a just in case somebody wiped out, or sometimes you would have bugs, you know, if you get the bug lands on you and need a little relief from that, or seasonal issues. Sometimes I would have that with kids. Seasonal issues, and Lavender was just a really handy one to have around for that. Sorry about that. My son just popped in. He's going to bed. So yeah, Lavender was one that it's so versatile that was one I just really needed to have in my bag. All right. And then one other one that I put in here that we didn't use all the time, but that we would use before visualizations, before our really big races, before our first meet, before state qualifying, and before state, we do visualizations. So they lay on the ground and I actually read them a visualization of the race, and it just helps them get mentally prepared. It's very common for Olympic athletes to do that kind of thing too. And I would give them a drop of Envision. Some of them thought it was a little nuts, but that's because they don't understand. And so it would give them that Envision. It would just help them get that focus that they needed to be ready for their race the next day. So those were a lot of the main ones that I used with my team as far as oils are concerned. But then some of the other things that I just had in my bag that we used all the time is Orthosport. This is my at-home one. This is my team one. I added a little bit of lemongrass to this as well, just to make it a little bit stronger. But some of those kids with their shins and things like that needed a little more coverage, and so we would do some Orthosport, and they would just rub their legs down with it, especially at the beginning of the season. That's really good. Or after some of those sprinting practices or different muscles than they're used to using, and they would just need a little extra support for their muscles. So we would use Orthosport. It was a pretty common one. Another one that I had in my bag that was, because it's more of a lotion and it's not going to be quite as potent as some of the straight oils for some more sensitive areas. Like I had a kid who had issues with his groin muscle, things like that. Now the Cool Azul pain relief cream is really nice for that. And I didn't go to this as my go-to all the time because honestly, it would have cost me a whole lot more when I was supplying to my entire team. And the oils worked really well, but this was really nice to have on hand in case I needed it for that. This also actually comes in a gel if you like the gel a little bit better. This is more of like a white lotion. I'll show you a little bit here. Starting to get a little bit low. But yeah, it's more of a white lotion. And the other one is, this is actually pain relief cream. The other one is more of a gel and it's not quite as strong. So those are just some ones that I would have in as well. And then another one, I don't have my spray bottle here right now, but I would do a bottle, something like this, usually as a glass spray bottle because that's what I had it in. I would have my purification because we would go out and run. There's a lake nearby with some trails, or just some different dirt trails and things like that for variety, different workouts and to keep things interesting. And sometimes we needed to enjoy the outdoors annoyance free. And so purification was nice to have on hand for that as well. And sometimes I would just give them a drop on their hand before we started, and they would just kind of rub it around, and yeah, then they wouldn't have to worry about that quite as much. They could focus on running and not so much on that. So those are just more, that was pre-race stuff too. A lot of those oils we would use before run, and we would actually use after as well, depending on what the kids were dealing with, if they wanted to do it before and then after, just get the support there. Another great one, and I don't have any on hand right now, but that would be really great to eat pre-race or pre-workout is the Wolfberry bars. They're super good for you. I did not supply those for my entire team. I had parents bring boxes of granola bars, though, because honestly, those teenagers are starving after school. And they just needed a little bit of sustenance before practice to give them that extra energy boost. And wolfberry bars would be great for that because you don't have any of those bad ingredients in them. And that would be a really, really good option for anyone to have before they would do their workout. And then, of course, my daily Ninja Red. This is huge for anyone with an active lifestyle. Like, this one is just a no-brainer. Now, I truly believe that everybody in the entire world should drink Ninja Red because it supports every single system in your body. But especially as someone who exercises and works out, Ninja Red is a must. I mean, it's for physical stamina, for mental. This stuff is just really good to go. And I would always have a packet of this as well. In my purse, in my van, wherever, so that if I needed that extra pick-me-up, I could actually have it. I ran a half marathon a couple years ago, and at the beginning of the race, I took a packet of Ninja Red. My sister and I ran it together. Took a packet of Ninja Red, and then at mile 8, we took a nitro. If you've never tried nitro, if you do any type of physical activity or something where you need extended amounts of focus for an extended period of time, this stuff is magic. This is basically like a healthy 5-hour energy, okay? It's just this little tube. You take the whole tube. It's a little harder than the Ninja Red. But man, we took this at mile 8 of that half. It took about a mile to kick in. I felt really good from miles 9 to 12. I felt the best that I did the whole race. Mile 13, we ran faster, so that doesn't feel as good. But this stuff, and I've had this where I'll have a conference that I need to sit all day and listen to speakers, and it doesn't matter how good they are. If you are just wiped out, it's really hard to stay alert. But if I took a packet of Ninja Red and a thing of Nitro, I didn't have any problems. It was fantastic. We have a close family friend who played varsity soccer last year, and he had took a Nitro before every game. Because he could just tell it gave him that extra energy boost, that he didn't feel fatigued, and that he could really go out there and just have that extra stamina and that extra boost to compete at the varsity level. So that was really good for him. We take a nitro. My 9-year-old son likes to run 5Ks competitively, and he's competitive. I'm beating him so far, but I think that's going to change in the near future. But we both take a nitro before we race, actually. And it really just gives you that extra boost. It's really nice. All right. So, okay, some other things that we like to use, and this is more post-workout, is, like I said, we would use some of the muscle rollers, things like that. And some of the other oils that are good for that, actually. Like, here's the Relieve It. That's a really good one. Peppermint, honestly. Peppermint is great for muscles. You've got your wintergreen. That's great for muscles. Marjoram is great for muscles. This is my Aromaseas, kind of an old bottle. I think I used my new one first. Aromaseas is a great one. Panaway, okay? Panaway is in your starter kit too. And this one is amazing. Another one, and I don't have it with me right now, is Deep Relief. That comes in a ready-made roller already. It's a 10 ml roller that Young Living sends you, ready to go, ready to roll on those muscles. And it is absolutely amazing for muscles. That one is, honestly, it's easy. If you don't like to mix your own stuff and you just want to use it, it is set and it is ready to go, and it is amazing. So I would highly recommend that one. And then we did, honestly, with my team, they would put their oils on, and then I had little Dixie cups, little paper ones, and I would have them in the freezer, and they would just rip that paper off the top, and they could do ice massage on any muscles. I would highly recommend that as well. And we rolled out. We had foam rollers. You can get like a hard roller on like Amazon. It's great for muscles. You just roll out those muscles that are tight before and after practice. And I seriously believe that that helped keep injury away as well. That made a really big difference for us. Having those rollers is huge because then they don't have to worry about tightness and things like that. So those are really good tools. So some other things too. We have the Ninja Zing. Okay, this is if you like to drink pop. My team did really well with not drinking pop. We know how terrible pop is for us, really bad. So Ninja Zing is a great alternative. It's got that sparkle, it's got that ninja in it, so you're still going to get that energy, but it's just good for you. So this is a wonderful substitute for pop to really help just be healthier, especially as you're exercising. And then something else that we would do actually after a really hard workout that I like to do personally is just take some bath salts, some Epsom salts, and add some lavender. I usually do lavender or Stress Away, and just put some of that in some Epsom salts and put that in my bath and soak my muscles, and that does amazing things. It feels so good after you do a really hard workout to soak in that bath with those things. All right, and then there's some other things too that Young Living has that are wonderful post-race and just great snack type things. Amino-wise, this was a new one that they came out with this summer, and it's so good. And it really does help. I'll show you a little bit. It's just this powder. It's wolfberry powder. I really truly think it tastes kind of like raspberry lemonade. I like it. And so it's not a stretch for me to drink it, you know. But I can put this in my water bottle, put a scoop or two in my water bottle. Well, I usually put one scoop. Put one scoop in my water bottle, and then I'll take this post-workout. And it's great. It tastes good, and it's got that amino acids that can help your muscles recover more quickly, actually, which is wonderful, especially when I'm trying to keep up with high school kids because they're a lot younger than I am. They also have Pure Protein Complete. Okay, they've got the chocolate version and they've got the vanilla version, vanilla spice. Personally, I really, really, really like chocolate just in general, so I usually do this one, but I like to have both. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take my personal size blender and I'll actually, I'll do milk and then a scoop of the protein powder, and then I throw a frozen banana in there, and I usually throw some flaxseed and some chia seeds as well because they have a lot of health benefits, and chia seeds can actually be energizing as well. And flaxseed is really good fiber. And I'll blend that, and honestly, with that frozen banana in there, it's amazing. If you have bananas that are going bad, peel them before you put them in your freezer. Then you can just throw them in. It's fantastic. Then you don't have to use them. I mean, you can use them for banana bread, or you can use them in your shakes. So I would do that like for a snack. I would do it post-workout whenever I needed it. You know, if I need a quick pick-me-up or something like that, it's a healthy alternative. My kids love it for a snack, to be honest. And then some supplements that Young Living has that is really great, especially as we get a little older and not teenagers anymore. Sulfurzymes. This is really great actually for joints. It's actually MSM and wolfberry powder. It's excellent for your joints. You can take as many of these as you want a day. Most people take 2 to 4, but I was listening to something the other day that they said, yeah, sometimes they just take 20 because they're so good for you, especially if you do have those sore muscles and you want to speed up that recovery. Take a bunch of these because it's really going to make a big difference for you. Agilis, that's a really good one as well. That came out 2 summers ago at convention, actually, I remember. And it actually says it's perfect for an active lifestyle, supports the body's response to acute inflammation in healthy individuals, promotes healthy joint flexibility and mobility, and supports cartilage health. So my husband actually takes this for his knee because it really helps with that, with the cartilage and joints. It's really, really great for that. And then BLM, this is another one, that it's bones, ligaments, and muscles. I think that's enough said right there, that it tells you that it's really just going to be really good to help with recovery and that to help stay healthy there, to help support those bones, ligaments, and muscles. Those are just really great things. So just some other things too, just to mention, talking gym bag and things like that, especially teenagers. So they don't always empty their gym bags as much as we would like them to. That's some things that I like to have on hand. Honestly, I always have thieves wipes in my van. And you'd be surprised how many times I use them with high schoolers, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised if you have high schoolers. But having those wipes in my van, necessary, very necessary. I will always have wipes with me. I don't care how old my kids are and how old my athletes are. You know, they're just really nice to have around. Thieves cleaner is another great one to have. We don't use it in our school weight room. I wish we did. That would be fantastic. That's one of my dreams, to have the thieves cleaner there. But I do have that, that I can use it for my own equipment and things like that too. And I have some in my van. So if I ever need a cleaner or something like that, and then I can pull out my bottle of thieves cleaner no matter where I am, and I can use that. I mean, honestly, if you're going somewhere after a workout and you don't have a lot of time to like take a full shower and to really get fully cleaned up, if you have a washcloth and you have some thieves cleaner, spray some thieves cleaner on that washcloth and wipe yourself down really well. That will actually go a long ways towards helping you feel fresh and not stinky when you go anywhere. So that is actually a really good alternative there. And then purification, again, going back to that. I talked about, using it for the outdoors, but stinky shoes, stinky gym bags, anything like that. You just got those little spray bottles, or you can get cotton ball and throw it in there, put it in a sock and throw it in a bag, something like that. We had a few morning practices. The grass was super wet outside in my shoes. My shoes didn't smell so good after they dried out. So a little purification to help zap that. Throw a little baking soda with some purification in there. That works great too. And then also you could do like a foot powder. And the recipes that I've seen, I haven't done this a lot, but I've read different things about people who have thieves, Melrose, purification, and some cornstarch. Put it in a shaker bottle. You can apply it to your feet and socks. Then you don't have the stinky feet issues. And then, just anything thieves really. Like the thieves spray is really great. And yeah, like I said before, the thieves wipes are fantastic. So those are just some of the things that, I guess my top things that we have used with my team and with my family, and just when we go out and about and we're doing different things. I'm sure there are a lot of other things that other people use as well. Young Living has a very good selection of things for people who live an active lifestyle to help support your body. It's absolutely fantastic, which is really nice. Like I have a whole bunch of oils that I could go to. Honestly, anything in the mint family is going to support your muscles, I have found from what I've read, which is great to know. I mean, that it's going to help. So it's just nice too, to be able to support your body, knowing that we're not putting those chemicals on our bodies, and knowing that we don't have junk in them, that it's a lot safer than the other options that are out there, that it's not a lot safer. It's just safe in general. And knowing that I have an option that, I can help my team and myself and my kids and my husband really just live that healthy lifestyle and be able to do our best without having to worry as much about injury and recovery time and things like that. So honestly, a lot of these oils that I talked about come in the starter kit along with a couple packets of the Ningxia. So if you don't have a starter kit, then you can actually get a really, really good start on this just by getting that starter kit. And then to get the rest of these, Essential Rewards, which is the monthly loyalty program, and it's an amazing way to get points back for free product, get discounted shipping. I mean, just really get great deep discounts on some of these other products. And they don't cost more than the junk stuff. And they're excellent for you. So it's just a win all around. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions or anything, you can just message me or email me if you have my email address, and just let me know. So I hope everybody has a great night.